Welcome back, guys. Got this for you. It's good. Been getting a lot of calls on this. Got a lot of questions about this. And this is extremely important to close your deals. This is extremely important when you're talking to your sellers because this is the key to the seller. What I'm fixing to share with you is going to give you the keys to be able to close more deals, make more money, and be able to help more people. So let's jump right into it and let's get started. So whenever you get on the phone or whenever you're in person, and in person's always better, but whenever you're talking to your sellers, of course you're trying to build a little rapport. You're trying to understand what their needs are, what their wants are, what their desires are, and why they're actually selling the house, whether they just don't want to work on it, or whether they got to move, or whether they get into a divorce or a bankruptcy, or any number of 50 different things. The most important thing, the absolutely number one thing that you need to be able to find out, and it may take a little bit, you may have to draw this out of your seller a little bit because most people don't just throw it out there and volunteer the information. The number one thing to help you close more deals and negotiate with sellers better is to find their need. You have to find the need. If you don't find the need, the wants don't matter, because everybody can want the world. They can, want $1 million for their property. It doesn't mean it's worth it, but the main thing is what they need, because when a seller is motivated, and remember, we're dealing with motivated sellers. We're not just calling every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there trying to throw stuff on the walls and find somebody to sell. We are targeting our audience, and we're dealing with motivated sellers. Every motivated seller that you talk to has a need. That's the reason they're motivated. Okay, the need is what actually motivates them. I'm going to give you a perfect example of a deal that I did. Actually, my first deal. This is really what keyed on my first deal. So whenever this guy calls me about the house, 1300 Neva Street, Jacksonville, Florida, whenever he calls me about this house, he's telling me what he wants, and he's telling me this, and he's telling me that. So I set up a meeting to meet him, right? I go out to the house. We walk in the house. I look up. I can see the tin on the roof. I look in the kitchen, and I can see the dirt on the ground, which was where the subfloor used to go, because he had been in there demoing the whole entire front half of the house. The bedrooms were still intact, but the whole front half of the house was demoed out. I mean, this thing was wrecked. And I think what happened was he got into it, and he realized it was more expensive and more work than he wanted to do. So the gentleman that I bought the house from, he was from Wisconsin. And him and his family had moved to Florida several months back. He had bought this house, and he had begun to work on it, and since that time he had actually moved out. Now the back half of the house was livable. The bathrooms and the 3 bedrooms were livable, but the front half of the house was completely gutted. I'm talking about gutted. So I think he got in over his head, and he decided he wanted to go home. Well, through our conversations and us talking together, I finally got out of him what it was. He had been here several months. He didn't like the heat in Florida, and hey, we got some heat here in Florida, believe me. Further south you go, the worse it gets. But anyways, he had gotten here. He'd been here for several months. He had tore the house apart, and he had decided he just wanted to sell the house and go home. He was just ready. Him and his wife had talked about, he was a middle-aged guy. He'd had enough of the heat. He had had enough of the problems he had had, and he just wanted to go home. And once I found out what his need was, then I was able to make a deal with him. Of course, I waited to ask him what he wanted for his property, because you always ask first. You don't make your offer first. So anyways, through the conversation, me finding out what his need was, I knew if I could or could not fulfill his need. Was there enough equity in the house? Was there too much work to be done? Did the numbers line up to fulfill his need? And this is the skill and the art that you have to master to be able to talk to your customers and find out what that need is, because ultimately, if you fulfill that need, you get the deal. Even if you may be a little bit lower than somebody else, that's not it. It's fulfilling the need, because you're not the only person they're talking to if they want to sell. I promise you, you're not the only person. 99 out of 100 have talked to multiple people before you got to them, and even after you got to them to talk to them. So when you find these people's need, then you know whether you can actually help them or not. Now, has his need been you know, another $30,000 or $40,000 higher, I couldn't help him. He wanted to just get enough money to go back home, get himself set back up at home, and begin his life again where he was from, which is what, you know, he's asking. He asked $30,000. I paid him $30,000 for the house. So, you know, whenever you're talking to these sellers, please don't rush them, don't push them, but try to find what the need is. Finding what the want is doesn't matter, because they can want everything. They're emotionally attached to their property. They're going through all the things they're going through, which could be anything: death, divorce, just a number of things, bankruptcy, and they have a need. They may need to just get out from underneath this house because it's killing them with the amount of maintenance that they have deferred for 25 years. And believe me, lots of deferred maintenance out there on 25-year-old, 30-year-old plus house. So I want to stress to you how important this is. I want you guys to think about this and practice this as you're talking to your sellers. You know, practice it. See what skill works for you. Everybody is a little different, you know. I had to develop my way of talking to the customers to get the needs out of them and to be able to understand, you know, what their need was. So before you make your offers, you know, when you're looking at the houses and you're talking to the people, you know, try and understand what they actually need, because if you're the person that helps them with their need, I mean, their need may be that they have an old junk car in the front yard and they can't get rid of this car and they don't know what to do with it because they owe Uncle Willie $140. You know, hey, I'll give you the $140. You know, if we do the deal, I'll give you the $140 to pay Uncle Willie for the car, and we'll call the junk man to come get it. Whatever the need is. And sometimes the need is so minor. To you, because you're a problem solver as an investor, to you the need is really nothing sometimes. Sometimes to that person, the need is very, very big. So try to solve your customers' needs, and you'll close more deals. You'll make more money, you'll build more rapport, and you will help more people. Because when you solve their needs, that's essentially what you're doing. You're helping them. You're helping them fulfill the problem that they're having in their life at that time. Like and subscribe. Check me out, House Flipping Masters on Facebook, you know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.